latest fish you like the way make you feel inside. Take a rocket ride. From the start you wanted to fly. Got a rocket, you want the ride. Take a rocket ride. Baby wants it bad, baby wants it bad. She wants a rocket ride, she wants a rocket ride. Baby's on her knees, baby wants a please. She wants a rocket ride, she wants a rocket ride. Yeah, hey, it's TR, and saw Tim Baby Boy Mulligan's video with that, and I realized, that's a song I never learned to play, so I decided to learn it. So why am I doing this? Couple reasons. TR, you got something in your ears. You better get some Q-tips, clean them out. My last few videos, I've been kind of enjoying the sound in the room of the guitar, and it's been bleeding through my lav mic and making it sound kind of hollow and not good. So I would want to try eliminating the room sound and see how it sounds. Might sound worse. I know a little room mic could be good, but anyways, that's what I'm doing there. So I got my in-ears in. The guitar doesn't sound quite as good to me with the in-ears. I could put the old cans on and it would sound better, and I would look even more stupid. So you got your choices of no in-ears, a little bit stupid, in-ears, sort of stupid, and cans on, more stupid. So that's just the minor excuse. The reason I want to do this is Ted from Ted Talks Guitars had some questions with fret leveling. And I am by no way an expert at this, okay? I'm just going to tell you what I do. It'll be like Ted says, it's descriptive, not prescriptive kind of thing. All those other slogans. He's the king of the slogan, by the way. Love you, Ted. Anyhow, fret leveling. So why am I playing this guitar? This is my first guitar that I did a complete refret on. And I'm going to share some stories. And as I like to say, like the Three Stooges, I always get it right the second time. And speaking of getting it right the second time, if you hear some noise in the background, it's because I have a 3D printer going. Tomorrow's trunk or treat, and I am printing Ghostbusters little miniature Marshmallow Men mini puffs to beat the band, trying to make my deadline. So sorry, but you'll hear the whirring sound. That's what that is. Okay, so the first time I did this, I took some shortcuts. I tried hammering it in. I didn't do what I should have done, and I wasn't happy with it, so I redid it. Because these are Jescar frets, the biggest ones you can get. And the fact of the matter is, a whole set of them costs a whole $20. It's refrets are labor intensive. That's why they're expensive. The actual materials, And yeah, I did spend 8 hours doing this. I mean, somebody that knows what they're doing could knock out like probably 3 or 4 of these a day. But, when you're me, it took a whole day to do it. And it came out great. I'm going to show some close-up shots and things, and I'm also going to show some cutaways and some other videos and things to show my thing. So, fret leveling. Ted asked me what I used. I said I don't care to use a radius block. People do. They have good success. It's fine. There's some people that say that's what you should do. Going up and down the length of the neck, which, by the way, you wouldn't use this block on this, because this I grabbed the 9.5 for demonstration, and this thing's got a 12-inch radius. Anyways, up and down. But the problem with this is if you get unequal pressure, or if it rocks a little bit to the side, you can end up, you got to keep it centered, up and down, and steady. And there's some people that are great at it. So it makes sense. Okay, you radius the fingerboard, the wood with this. You put the frets in, and then you radius with this. But is the radius the same on the top of the frets? It's not. The radius of your fingerboard is what it's sanded to. The radius of the top of the frets is that plus how tall the fret is. And I'll show that in a piece of paper. and demonstrate that. So cut away. Okay, so this is where I'm going to demonstrate why the radius of the top of your frets is different than the radius of your fingerboard. So fingerboards tend to do a radius. What's the radius? Radius is a curve. The curve would be what the curve would be of a circle that radius is. So we'll say a 9.5 inch radius would actually be a 19 inch diameter circle because the radius is half, right? So here, let's draw a circle. Should make you a perfect circle, but I'm not gonna. We're just gonna do this for starters. So we get dead center. So your radius is 1/2. Diameter would be the whole thing, right? So let's say this is your 9.5 inch radius. Oh boy, that's some bad handwriting. Okay. Almost looks like a 7.5. Doesn't matter what it is. Or 9.5. Okay. So say your frets have a certain thickness. So this is your guitar neck. Just this part across the top here. There's your guitar neck, and there's your radius. So let's say you have a certain thickness for your fret. Say it's this thick. So now you're going to go that same thickness. Oh boy, this is bad, huh? All demonstration purposes, all the way around. Fingerboard, there's the thickness of the fret is in here, okay? Yeah, I know it's exaggerated, but it's to show a point. Well, here, I curved in the wrong spot there. Well, now, over here, your radius, you got extra, right? So that's more than 9.5. Now you can say, well, the radius is only half, so why are you adding the height to the fret? Well, you got it on both sides, so now you're making a circle that's even wider. So yeah, the height of the fret is added to it, so the actual radius of the frets becomes 9.5 plus however tall your fret is. So when you put your block that you did your fingerboard with on top of this, it's going to take material off on the sides as you try and impose the tighter radius over top of the new flatter radius. Subtle? Yeah. When's the only time would you notice? You wouldn't notice if you were just using it to dress frets. If you were doing a level and dress, you probably wouldn't notice on an average guitar. Brand new guitar with brand new frets that's had the fingerboard freshly radiused, you'll notice the material is only coming off of the edges. Because in theory, if you radius your fingerboard correctly with brand new frets and seat them correctly, very little work should be needed from there forward, right? Yeah, I think so. So anyways, yeah, that's how I explain that anyways. Okay, we're back. So I like to use a beam. What beam do I use? I have this Katana from Rectify Master. It's a very, very impressive tool. Also a slightly expensive tool. I think they were around $300. I don't even know if the company's still in business. They used to make little handheld fret crowning tools that like were semi-round over. You go on each side of the fret to... But the fellow that owned this company was a guy named David Bisoli, I believe, out of Italy, and he made these in Japan. So it's a precision tool. The way this works is it's shaped like an I-beam, and it fits between the strings. So you do like several passes. It goes between the strings, and you go like in a Z pattern. So you don't go up and down this way. You go sort of side to side, but in a Z pattern. And the point being is, you get your relief set the way you like your guitar, and this thing has a screw. It's got its own built-in truss rod, and you match it to the shape of the neck, the relief of the neck. Well, how do you match it perfect? There are 3 precision little brass triangles called pyramids that you place on the ends and in the middle, and then you put this on and you adjust the truss rod on this until there's no longer any rocking. That, you know, assuming you've already got the guitar dead nuts where you want it. And then you do that, and then this mirrors the shape of the guitar neck, and it levels under string tension. Why would I have such an expensive tool? Because David was kind enough to give me this. Why did he give it to me? I saw a video on it and I commented, oh, it's called the Katana, because this was, by the way, before the Boss Katana amps even came out. Okay, it's called Katana because it curves like a samurai sword when you turn it. He said, you know, you're the only one that's ever figured that out. How about if I give you one of those? And I'm like, yeah, how about you do? Thank you very much. So he did. And that was my first foray into any kind of fret leveling. And from there, everything just took off. And we ended up with eventually doing complete refrets. So anyways, that's my thoughts. There's people that use the blocks and do just great with them. But it's not for me, because what I want to share, why I told you I did this a second time. The first time I did it, I tried using the block. And I had to ask myself the question, why is it taking material off unevenly? Because the radius was 12. I'm using a 12-inch block, and I'm taking material off because the frets were radiused more than 12 inches. Why? Because of what I showed you with the, you know, it's science. And what that does is you can take your frets down to your 12-inch, which is going to be actually more than 12, so it's flatter. So what is it doing if it's actually doing the 12-inch and the outside is flatter? It's taking material off of the outsides and leaving more in the middle, because it's trying to get it back down to that 12 when it's greater than 12. Does that make sense? So it's flatter, it's greater than 12, it's trying to make it rounder. So trying to make it rounder, it's taking materials off the edges. Because that's what I noticed. It's like, why is it taking material off the edges of my frets? I know this is the same size block. So I had to like put on the thinking cap and think about it and draw a little circle in my head, which is radius is, you know, half the diameter of the circle. And then add the frets in, and it was a light bulb moment. It's like, holy crap, the radius of the top of the frets is actually bigger than the radius of the fingerboard. Who'd have knew? Mind blown. So I went to use the beam. I did use the beam the second time because I just didn't want to be taking a bunch of material off the sides of a brand new set of frets. And using the block, if there's a mismatch with your fingerboard, isn't going to be detrimental to how it plays. It's going to change the height of your fret across that. But it's the radius of the frets that matters with playing. As long as your bridge and your nut match your frets, it doesn't matter what the fingerboard does. Fingerboard could be going all over the place. It's the frets that matter. But anyhow, that's what I do and why I prefer the beam. And also I just wanted to hear how this would sound with isolating things. So that's that. You guys have a good one.